Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and imagine a place where your mind finally becomes quiet. Today, you won't just learn English. You'll feel it through peaceful stories inspired by nature. The morning air was soft and cool, like a gentle hand brushing against your skin. Emma stood at the edge of the forest, her fingers wrapped around the straps of her small backpack. The world behind her was loud, fast, and full of noise. But here, everything felt different. Quiet, peaceful, alive. She took a slow step forward. The forest welcomed her. Tall trees stretched toward the sky, their leaves glowing in shades of green. Sunlight slipped through the branches, creating golden patterns on the ground. Birds sang somewhere above, their voices light and free. Emma followed a narrow path that curved gently through the woods. Each step felt lighter than the last. The sound of her breathing slowed. Her thoughts became softer, quieter. She noticed the small things, the crunch of leaves under her shoes, the smell of damp earth, the distant trickle of water. After a while, she reached a small wooden sign. It read, "Follow the path and listen." Emma smiled. "Listen to what?" she whispered. The forest didn't answer. Or maybe it did. She continued walking. The deeper she went, the more she began to notice something strange. The forest had a rhythm, a quiet, natural rhythm. The wind moved through the trees in soft waves. The leaves rustled like whispers. Even her footsteps seemed to match the forest's gentle pace. It felt like the forest was speaking. Not with words, but with feeling. Emma slowed down. She closed her eyes for a moment and listened carefully. The wind passed through the branches. The leaves answered. A bird called out in the distance. And somewhere nearby, water flowed. Emma opened her eyes and followed the sound. Soon she found a small stream. Clear water moved over smooth stones, shining like glass under the sunlight. She sat down beside it and dipped her fingers into the cool water. It felt refreshing. Alive. She stayed there for a long time, watching the water move. Then something unusual happened. She heard a voice. Soft, gentle, almost like a whisper. "Why are you here?" Emma looked around quickly. There was no one. "Hello," she called. No answer. She shook her head. Maybe it was just her imagination. But then the voice came again. "Why are you here?" This time she didn't feel afraid. She felt calm. "I needed peace," Emma said quietly. The forest seemed to grow still. The water slowed. The wind softened. "Peace is not something you find," the voice whispered. "It is something you remember." Emma frowned slightly. "Remember?" "Yes." She looked down at the stream. Her reflection stared back at her, calm but thoughtful. "When was the last time you truly listened?" the voice asked. Emma didn't answer right away. She thought about her life, the constant noise, the busy days, the endless scrolling, talking, thinking. Had she ever really listened? Not just heard, but truly listened. "I don't know," she admitted. The forest seemed to sigh softly. "Then stay," the voice said. "Listen." Emma leaned back against a tree. She closed her eyes again. This time she listened differently. Not just to the sounds, but to the silence between them. The space between the birds' songs. The pause between the wind. The stillness beneath everything. And slowly, something changed. Her mind became quiet. Her thoughts slowed down. And for the first time in a long time, she felt completely present. Time passed, but she didn't notice. The forest held her gently, like an old friend. When she finally opened her eyes, the sunlight had shifted. The day was moving forward. Emma stood up slowly. "Thank you," she whispered. The forest didn't reply. But she felt it, a quiet warmth in her chest, a sense of peace she hadn't felt in years. As she walked back along the path, everything looked the same, but felt different. The trees still stood tall. The birds still sang. The wind still moved gently. But now, she was listening, and the forest was no longer just a place. It was a feeling, a memory, a quiet voice within her. The sky was painted in soft shades of orange and pink as the sun slowly sank into the horizon. Amina stood barefoot on the sand, her toes sinking into its warmth. In front of her, the ocean stretched endlessly. Calm, deep, mysterious. She had come here to escape. Not from something specific, but from everything. Life had become too heavy, too fast, too loud. But the ocean was different. It didn't rush. It didn't demand. It simply existed. Amina took a deep breath and walked closer. The waves moved gently, rolling in and out like a slow, steady heartbeat. The water touched her feet, cool and refreshing. She closed her eyes. The sound of the ocean filled her ears. Wave after wave. In and out. In and out. It felt like the ocean was breathing with her. Do you hear it? Amina opened her eyes quickly. There was no one around. The beach was empty. The voice came again. Do you hear it? This time she didn't look around. She looked at the ocean. Hear what? She asked softly. The truth. Amina stepped further into the water. The truth about what? The waves moved a little stronger now, brushing against her ankles. The truth about yourself. Amina felt a strange calm. And what is that? She asked. The ocean didn't answer immediately. Instead, a larger wave rolled in, surrounding her feet before pulling back again. Let go, the voice whispered. Amina frowned. Let go of what? Everything you are holding. She thought about that. What was she holding? Stress, fear, regret, expectations. All the things she carried every day without even realizing it. How? She asked. The ocean responded with another wave. Stronger this time. Stand still. Amina did. The water moved around her, pulling gently at her feet. Feel, the voice said. She focused on the sensation. The cool water. The soft sand shifting beneath her. The steady rhythm of the waves. Now breathe, the voice whispered. She took a deep breath. Slow. Calm. Again. She breathed in. And out. With each breath, she felt something begin to loosen inside her. The tension. The weight. The noise. Let it go, the ocean said. And she did. Not all at once, but slowly, like the tide pulling away from the shore. A memory surfaced. A worry. A fear. And then it faded, carried away by the waves. Amina opened her eyes. The ocean looked the same, but she felt different. Lighter. Calmer. Why does this work? She asked. The ocean seemed to smile through its gentle movement. Because you stopped fighting. Amina nodded slowly. So pieces letting go. Yes. She looked out at the horizon. The sun was almost gone now. The sky was darker. Deeper. Beautiful. Will I lose this feeling when I leave? She asked quietly. The ocean answered softly. Only if you forget. Amina smiled. I won't forget. The waves rolled in gently, as if in approval. She stepped back onto the sand, feeling the cool air against her skin. For the first time in a long time, She felt free, not because her life had changed, but because she had. The ocean hadn't given her anything new. It had simply reminded her of something she already had. Peace, stillness, strength. And as she walked away, she realized something important. The ocean didn't just exist in front of her. It existed within her. A quiet, endless space where she could always return. The sky was gray, heavy with clouds as Noor stood by the window. The first drop of rain touched the glass, then another and another. Soon, the world outside was wrapped in a soft curtain of falling rain. Noor watched quietly. She had always loved the rain. Not the storms, not the thunder, but the gentle rain, the kind that made the world slow down, the kind that made everything feel softer. She opened the window slightly. Cool air entered the room, carrying the fresh scent of wet earth. The rain fell steadily now. Tap, tap, tap. A natural rhythm, almost like a song. Noor closed her eyes. She listened carefully. And then she heard it. A voice. Soft. Familiar. Why do you always run? Her eyes opened slowly. She didn't feel afraid. The rain continued falling. I'm not running, she whispered. The rain tapped more firmly against the glass. Then why are you always in a hurry? Noor looked down at her hands. She thought about her days, always rushing, always thinking about the next thing. The next task. The next problem. The next worry. I guess I don't know how to stop, she admitted. The rain softened again. You are stopping now, the voice said gently. Noor took a deep breath. She stepped away from the window and walked outside. The rain touched her face, cool and light. She didn't run back inside. She stood there, still, present. Feel this moment, the rain whispered. She focused on the sensation. The drops on her skin. The cool air around her. The quiet world. Even the sound seemed softer. The cars in the distance. The rustling trees. Everything felt distant, unimportant. What happens if I stop rushing? Noor asked. The rain answered in its steady rhythm. You begin to live. She closed her eyes again. For the first time, she wasn't thinking about what came next. She wasn't planning. She wasn't worrying. She was simply here. And that was enough. Time passed slowly. Or maybe it didn't pass at all. It just existed. Noor opened her eyes. The rain was lighter now. Almost like a whisper. I think I understand, she said. The rain responded with a gentle tap. Then remember this. She smiled softly. I will. As she walked back inside, she noticed something different. Nothing had changed. The same room. The same life. But she felt calmer. Slower. More present. The rain continued outside. But now it wasn't just a sound. It was a reminder. To pause. To breathe. To live. The path up the mountain was long and quiet. Hassan walked slowly, his steps steady but heavy. The air grew thinner as he climbed higher, and the world below faded into the distance. He had come here for answers. But the mountain gave him none. Only silence. The wind moved gently around him. Cold. Clean. Endless. After hours of climbing, he reached a flat space near the top. He stopped. Looked around. There was nothing. No people. No noise. No distractions. Just sky and stone. Why did I come here? He asked aloud. The mountain did not reply. Or maybe it did. Through silence, Hassan sat down on a rock. He felt tired. not just in his body, but in his mind. Too many thoughts, too many questions. What should I do with my life? He asked quietly. The wind passed by him. No answer. He sighed. This was a mistake. He stood up, ready to leave. But something stopped him. A feeling. A quiet pull. Stay. The word appeared in his mind. Not loud. Not forceful. Just there. Hassan hesitated. Then slowly he sat back down. He looked out at the horizon. The view was wide and open. Endless. He took a deep breath. The air felt different here. Cleaner. Lighter. He closed his eyes. And waited. Minutes passed. Then more. At first his thoughts were loud. Questions. Doubts. Memories. But slowly, they began to fade. Like clouds moving across the sky. The more he sat, the quieter his mind became. The mountain didn't give answers. It gave space. And in that space, something changed. Hassan realized something simple. He didn't need all the answers right now. He didn't need to control everything. He just needed to take one step at a time. Like climbing the mountain. One step, then another. He opened his eyes. The view was still the same. But now it felt different. Clearer. Calmer. Thank you, he said softly. The wind moved gently, as if in response. Hassan stood up. He didn't feel rushed anymore. He didn't feel lost. He felt steady. The mountain had not spoken, but it had taught him something important. Sometimes the answers come. When you stop searching, the desert stretched endlessly in every direction. Golden sand during the day. And now under the night sky, a deep ocean of darkness and light. Ali lay on his back looking up. Above him, thousands of stars filled the sky. Bright, silent, infinite. He had never seen anything like it. In the city, the sky was always hidden. Covered by lights, noise, movement. But here, the sky was alive. Do you feel small? The voice came softly. Ali didn't move. Yes, he said. The stars shimmered above him. Is that a bad thing? Ali thought for a moment. I don't know. The desert air was cool now. The silence was deep. Comforting. Small means you are part of something big, the voice said. Ali smiled slightly. I like that. He looked at the stars again. They seemed so far away. Yet somehow, close. What am I supposed to do with my life? He asked. The same question many people ask. The stars did not rush to answer. They simply shined. Steady. Patient. You don't have to know everything, the voice said. Ali took a deep breath. Then what do I need to know? The answer came gently. Just this moment. Ali focused on the present. The cool sand beneath him. The quiet air. The endless sky. No past. No future. Just now. And suddenly, that felt enough. More than enough. I spend too much time worrying, he said. The stars flickered softly. Then stop. Ali laughed quietly. That sounds simple. It is simple, the voice replied, but not easy. He nodded. That was true. But lying there, under the vast sky, it felt possible. For the first time in a long time. His mind was quiet. His body was relaxed. His heart was light. Will I forget this feeling? He asked. The stars remained steady. The lake was still. So still, It looked like a mirror placed gently between the mountains. Zara stood at its edge, watching her reflection ripple slightly as a soft breeze touched the surface. She had come here early in the morning, before the world woke up. Before the noise. Before the rush. Because lately, her mind had been too full. Too many thoughts. Too many worries. Too many questions she couldn't answer. She sat down on a smooth rock near the water. The air was cool and fresh. Birds were just beginning to sing. The sky slowly changed from dark blue to soft gold. Zara looked at her reflection again. But something felt strange. It didn't feel like she was just looking at herself. It felt like the lake was looking back. "Why are you hiding?" The voice was soft, gentle, almost like it came from the water itself. Zara blinked. "I'm not hiding," she said quietly. The lake remained calm, but the reflection shifted slightly. "Yes, you are." Zara looked down. Her fingers tightened slightly. "From what?" she asked. The water moved in a slow circle. "From your own truth." She frowned. "My truth." The lake grew still again. "Look closer." Zara leaned forward slightly. Her reflection became clearer. Her face, her eyes, tired, not from lack of sleep, but from carrying too much inside. "What do you see?" the voice asked. Zara hesitated, then answered honestly. "I see someone who is tired of pretending." The lake shimmered softly. "Good," it whispered. "Now look deeper." Zara closed her eyes. At first there was nothing, just darkness. But slowly, feelings began to rise. Things she had been ignoring. Things she had been pushing away. Fear, doubt, uncertainty, but also hope, strength, and a quiet desire for change. Her eyes opened again. The reflection in the lake looked different now. Not because it had changed, but because she was seeing it clearly. "I think I understand," she said. The lake responded with a gentle ripple. "You don't need to be perfect," it whispered. "You only need to be honest." Zara took a deep breath. For so long, she had tried to appear strong, confident, certain, even when she was, even when she felt lost. "But what if people don't like the real me?" she asked. The water moved again, slowly and peacefully. Then they were never meant to stay. Zara felt something shift inside her. A small release. A quiet freedom. She looked at the lake once more. Her reflection was still there. But now, it felt real. Not perfect, but real. And that felt enough. The sun rose higher now, casting golden light across the water. The lake sparkled softly. Alive. Beautiful. Zara stood up slowly. "Thank you," she said. The lake didn't answer with words, but the calm feeling remained. As she walked away, she realized something important. The lake hadn't changed her. It had simply shown her what was already there. And sometimes, that's all we need. "You will forget," the voice said, "and then you will remember again." Ali smiled. "I like that." He closed his eyes. The desert held him in its quiet embrace. And above him, the universe continued, vast and endless, but no longer overwhelming. Now, it felt like home. The field stretched endlessly, covered in tall, soft grass that moved like waves in the wind. Bilal stood in the middle of it, his clothes gently shifting with each breeze. The sky above was wide and open, clear, peaceful, but his mind was anything but peaceful. Thoughts moved quickly, too quickly. worries about the future, mistakes from the past, questions with no answers. He sighed deeply. "I just want some quiet," he said. The wind passed by him softly, as if listening. Then it spoke. "Then let me take it." Bill looked around. There was no one. Only the field. Only the wind. "Take what?" he asked. "Your worries." He laughed quietly. "I wish it were that easy." The wind moved stronger this time, brushing against him. "It is." Bill shook his head. "No, it's not." The wind slowed. Gentle again. "Hold one thought," it whispered. Bill hesitated. Then he focused on one worry. Just one. A problem he had been thinking about for days. Now the wind said softly, "Let it go." "How?" "Give it to me." Bill closed his eyes. It felt strange. But he tried. He imagined placing that thought into the wind, letting it lift away. The breeze moved past him. And for a brief moment, the thought was gone. He opened his eyes. "That was different," he said. The wind responded playfully. "Again." Bill smiled slightly. He picked another worry. Something small this time. He imagined releasing it. And again. The wind carried it away. With each breath, with each passing breeze, his mind became lighter, slower, quieter. The field around him seemed to move in rhythm with his breathing. In and out. "Why does this work?" he asked. The wind answered gently. "Because you were never meant to carry everything." Bill looked out across the field. The grass moved endlessly. Free. Unburdened. "What if the worries come back?" he asked. "They will," the wind said calmly. "And then you let them go again." Bill nodded slowly. That made sense. Life wouldn't stop. Problems wouldn't disappear forever. But he didn't have to hold on to them. Not all the time. He took a deep breath. The air felt fresh, light, alive. For the first time in days, his mind felt quiet. Not empty, but peaceful, balanced. He lay down in the grass. The sky above him stretched wide and blue. The wind continued to move gently around him, like a quiet companion. "Thank you," he whispered. The wind responded softly. "I'm always here." Bill closed his eyes. And this time, there was no rush, no noise, no weight. Just the simple, peaceful rhythm of the world around him. And the understanding that sometimes, the best thing you can do is let go.